Your success happens slowly and then all at once. It happens behind the scenes when nobody can see it, when you're just winning at small things every single day that you previously could not win at. Like a new habit that makes you more focused, or an improved sleep schedule, or an improved routine in some way. Your life improves in totality when you decide to go within and begin studying yourself, studying your life, and studying new things. So whatever you're passionate about or interested in, when you study that, you expand your mind and your vibration skyrockets. Knowledge is actually very, very exciting. And the knowledge of self, the knowledge of how things manifest, studying energy, understanding how energy works, understanding, the personality of God as the supreme energy, and seeing how he works, meaning studying universal laws, like this is all very, very exciting. And this can actually take you from being spiritually poor, spiritually impoverished, mentally impoverished, emotionally impoverished, and physically impoverished, and it can make you very, very wealthy. And this has been the case for myself. And I promised myself that I would give this information out there, or at least try to awaken people in some way, inspire people in some way, even if it's just me following my passions. That's very, very important. It's very important to take actions, the actions that you cannot automate or ask AI to do or employ someone to do. Meaning the actions that involve self-development, the actions only you can do, that is going to, number one, obviously yield you the highest ROI. It's not even a question. And it starts with how you feel. It starts with your frequency, your energy. Secondly, though, what that's going to do is affect every other area of your life, every other sphere of your life. And it's going to enliven it, invigorate it, make it exciting, make it alive again. And so many people, they don't know who they are. They have no life. They have no sense of self. They have no passions. They have nothing they're trying in life, nothing they're striving for, nothing they're building. They're boring. They're boring. And it's these people that have the audacity to try to keep you square, to try to keep you stuck, to try to keep you the same, because they benefit from you staying the same, because all of a sudden they don't have to improve. They are comfortable with stagnancy, with torture even, with living a torturous life, or living a depressing, negative life. Do you know how many people are addicted to their negative thoughts? You cannot change anybody, and consequently, you cannot get offended when you experience the result of their negative thinking. You cannot put that upon yourself and be offended by someone else's devotion to misunderstanding you. This is so important, because the biggest pain in life comes from human relationships, because human relationships are the one thing that can open us up to greater love, to infinite love, to God, basically. It can catalyze us there, because human relationships deal with the heart center, and it's a soul-to-soul interaction. Human relationships mirror the relationship we have with the divine all the time that we may not be paying attention to. So human relationships actually have the ability to really, really damage us if we are not learning from them and seeing other people as our mirror, as our reflection of what we are emanating, the vibrational frequency we are emanating. It's not always that you attract who you are. No, no, no. Absolutely not. You have to look at your vibrational profile as a whole. Your vibrational profile has so many different mixed signals within it, right? So like you're going to attract like different people into your experience that have different energies. So let's say you are a super empathic person, just as an example, and you attract a narcissistic person, someone who's more narcissistic. Because everyone has everything, by the way, guys. Like, everybody has a mix of everything, just to let you know. It's just sometimes empathic people may be more empathic than narcissistic, you know? That's why I don't like labels, because you cannot label a human. You cannot label a child of God. You can't. Like, people are mixed energies. And remember also that most of us are under the laws of karma. So we're going through things that like bring out different, we're all on the path, like we're all on the spiritual path, which is life. But yeah, so you have a mixed vibrational profile. Let's say you are a more empathic person and you attract a more narcissistic person. Well, that's because there's a lesson there for you to learn. So it's not always that we attract who we are, you know? Let's say you're empathic, you're going to have empathic people around you. You just may not be paying as much attention to them, but they're there. You may be more focused on the narcissistic person because your soul requires a lesson here, and it is seeking a lesson. And the pain is triggering you. What's a trigger? A trigger is something that causes an action, right? Another action. You know this if you have analyzed key performance indicators in marketing. You understand how triggers work if you've set up like back-end workflow in any way, in online business, if you run your brand or anything. So you'll understand that a trigger is something that just causes another action, right, to happen. So pain is a trigger always, because it's uncomfortable, and it's all of your focus and attention goes towards it, right? So it is a trigger. Now it's meant to trigger an action. Pain is meant to trigger something else. What do you think it's meant to trigger? It's meant to trigger awakening, self-understanding, self-realization. That is the point of pain. It's not just for you to feel pain and, yeah, let me go, I don't know, numb myself and forget it exists, and it'll just be, something that is buried within me. Have you ever seen, I think it's a book, actually. It's called The Princess and the Pea or something. I forgot what it's called. But basically, it's a children's story, and it's a story of a princess. And she was sleeping on a mattress, and she was uncomfortable. And so she kept stacking mattresses. I forgot actually how it goes. But at the bottom of the last mattress, there was a pea, peas, like the vegetable. And she felt it. Hold on, let me look it up really quickly, because I used to read this as a kid. I was really into stories and everything. Okay, it's called The Princess and the Pea. Is a classic fairy tale by, Hans Christian Andersen, about a prince searching for a true princess, who is identified by a queen's test, placing a single pea under 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds, which the sensitive princess feels, proving her royal sensitivity and allowing her to marry the prince. Oh, that's so cute. I didn't know there was a prince involved. Of course there's a prince involved. Anyway, the point is that, if you push pain down, it's interesting how I thought of that, but it's kind of like the pea, you still feel it, it can be under layers and layers of mattresses, but you're still gonna feel it. You can numb it with friends and whatever, vices and travel and luxury stuff, and all that's amazing. I'm a huge supporter of that. Go for it. But you can't outrun yourself, you know what I mean? And I think that that's beautiful, because that is actually kind of the point of life, the human life, is to feel pain. From the moment we're born, we're uncomfortable. It's described in the Bhagavatam that the human form of life is vastly uncomfortable. It's very painful. Nothing here is easy. That's the point, is to catalyze you back to God, back to Krishna, it's said. So, why is it that, people get very rich, but then they still pass away? They still have to deal with others in their life passing away. No one is spared, We actually all go through the same things. Betrayal, loss, separation. Birth itself is really painful. We just forget because, that's the nature of time. It helps us forget. And obviously we don't have the same infant body we did at that time. But yeah, everything here is very painful. So pain is so necessary for awakening one's soul unto the realization that they have an everlasting, infinite connection to the divine. And that connection must be realized and then strengthened so that they are liberated from their pain. That's what liberation is. What are you liberated from? Pain, right? Which is the human form of life, which is the cycle of reincarnation, the birth and death cycle, which is very painful. All animals go through it, all human beings go through it. It's extremely difficult. Even demigods go through it. At some point in time, even in the higher planets, their good karma runs out, and especially if they were enjoying, you guys should read the Vedas, seriously. I don't know what else to say, At some point, their good karma runs out, and they, especially if they were enjoying a super lavish life up there, which they do, because it's very intoxicatingly luxurious. If people only knew how the higher planets are, what is it, Svargalok and Brahmalok, you guys should study this. It's insane. Each realm is very different, but extremely fragrant in all ways. But yeah, so at some point their good karma runs out, and demigods again have to be born as human beings. And you'll know if you are especially if you are a yogi, or you've been a yogi. The thing about divine union is that it allows for all the knowledge of your previous births to come back to you and to be awakened within you. But anyway, it's just important that we allow pain to serve its purpose, which is to catalyze us towards God, to catalyze us towards surrendering our life to God. It doesn't matter who you call God, but it's also described in various texts that Jesus Christ, for example, his name is actually Yeshua, is a pure devotee of Krishna. And Christ even says in the Bible that he is the Son of God. He doesn't say, I am God, worship me, I am God. Christ never said that. We should all be attempting to attain Yeshua consciousness. It's possible to do so. We have the sacred oil within our bodies that is waiting to be risen to the pineal so that we can awaken. And it's really time people start understanding this stuff truly, because for the longest time people have looked to different religions for answers, when the answer is you. You are the answer. God is within you. You understand? You have it's just a phone call away, my love. You have a direct connection. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to go, take Diksha. You don't need to, go to a guru. Come on, baby. I'm sorry. We live in an age in which this information is readily accessible to us. Anybody can read scripture. You are set. You don't need, you don't need anything else. Because why? Because at the time of death, when you have to shed the body, and you have to focus your prana between your eyebrows, right? On the third eye. how, like, are you going to be thinking of your guru? Like, are you going to be thinking of, like, your priest or your pastor? My love, this life is an individual journey. I'm here to remind you of this. And your pain is also an individual one. No religion can take away your pain. Your pain is meant to be used by you as a tool. It's a tool. It's meant to make you strong, very spiritually strong. Very spiritually adept. So that you have this strong connection with the divine that, like, has been waiting for you to awaken it for lifetimes. This human life is very painful. Again, I mentioned how human relationships they can be quite painful because a lot of people have not done any of the inner work we've covered in this audio. And so they will project their, they will project their negative energy upon others. Hurt people. And I know this very well because a little bit of my testimony and my story is that I know all this stuff because I've experienced it. Everything I tell you guys, like, it's not a personal anecdote. I've experienced the pain that will catalyze you to ultimately surrendering your life to God and achieving divine union, right? So I know all of this. And so, why? Because I've experienced immense pain. And the immense pain I've experienced is, yes, like, I am someone that is very, very bright. Not in any way other than energetically. So this triggers the lower energies, the lower entities, let's say, within people that see innocence and want to hurt it, right? They want to hurt it because see, that's what demonic energy is. It's self-destructive. But anyway, and so there's not been a single person on this planet that has been a refuge for me. And you may be thinking, oh, that sounds really lonely, like, that sounds really, like, negative. No, it's just I've been able to see the truth in the sense that human beings cannot and should not be your spiritual refuge. It is only God who can actually play that role perfectly and give you what you need, which is unconditional divine love and understanding, And He will make things happen in your life. He will perform miracles for you. He will be by your side as your best friend because He has seen how you have poured into the world, and the world destroyed you. People destroyed you, So He'll protect His devotee always. God always protects His devotee. And again, we should not place our faith in people. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I'm not going to stop saying this because, you may love people very much. And I think it's best to leave it there. Don't interact farther than that. Just love people very much and seek to awaken them. Seek to serve them, to give them good energy, to tell them your story. But expect nothing from people because people cannot see your soul the way God can see your soul and the way God does see your soul. So it's imperative that we walk with truth. This is truth. We should not be delusional about life or about human relationships or anything. About death even. Death is the most important experience you'll ever go through because it's the final test of human life, you know? It's the final test of your consciousness. Like, whatever you're focused on at the time of death, like, that kind of proves, like, where your focus has been in your life, you know? But yeah, alright, I'm gonna wrap it up. I love you guys. And if you didn't know, by the way, wherever you place your focus on at the time of death is where you end up in the next life. I don't know if I've touched on this before or made this very clear, but it's imperative that we focus on, the two-armed image of Krishna, by the way, so that at the time of death we become liberated and freed from the cycle of birth and death. We do not have to take another birth. We are situated infinitely, eternally alongside Lord Krishna in Golok, right? So, like, the highest planet. Guys, please study. My God, I'm going to have free resources in the bio. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.